The way it works, DC, I have to do DC FOC on Sunday. That is coming up this Sunday, I think the 4th, right? Is that the date? No. Yep. Yeah, Sunday, October 4th. It's already October, man. Holy crap. So DC is done on Sunday, October 4th. We ask that you have your requests for DC product in by 11 a.m. on Sunday, October 4th. For Marvel, for Boom, for Dynamite, for Dark Horse, for Image, for everybody else, FOC is still Monday, October 5th. So you can get all of your requests in for that stuff by 11 a.m. on Monday, October 5th. If you're coming into the store, we have a very scientific method of writing things down on a notepad because
it involves a writing utensil.
Yeah, a pen or a pencil.
Most people don't know how to use them.
And some paper. Because the DC stuff is all held on my laptop, we can't add things to your subscription via the computer through Comic Suite yet. Still supposed to be working on that. But so in-person cutoff for DC is Saturday night. Requests via Facebook, email, Facebook Messenger, all that stuff is Sunday morning, 11 a.m. And then everything else, DC, Marvel, or not, I'm sorry, not DC, Marvel, Image, Boom, Dark Horse, Dynamite, IDW is all Monday, October 5th by 11 a.m. Hopefully that didn't confuse the crap out of everybody.
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly.
When
will them be now? Soon. So anyhow, that's the spiel. When we're talking about stuff, either here on the video or when you're reading the post that's behind me, if you would like to subscribe to anything, please comment sub with the title. What that does, that ensures that you get the all of the books that are subsequent issues for that series until you tell us that you don't want it or the series ends. If you would just like to pull a copy, we need you to comment pull with the cover that you would like to choose if there's multiples, and how many copies of that particular cover that you would like, whether you want 5 or 10 or 20 or just one. Pull with the title, the cover, and the quantity that you would like to order. Pretty simple, I think. Sub and pull. But we have a special surprise that we haven't really. It's been in the works for a little bit. We haven't. The guys here, everybody here knows about it. We've seen stuff about it. It's not on FOC this week, but we're trying to get ahead of the curve. There is a very big book that's coming out that is on. It's in stores November 4th. It's on FOC October 12th. So we've got 11 days to take your orders for this new book. Everybody is going to want a copy of this. First of all, it's written by Donny Cates, so you can't go wrong with Donny Cates. The art is by Jeff Shaw. They're the creative team that did God Country at Image. They're the same creative team that did Thanos at Marvel. Donny Cates is writing Venom right now. He's writing Thor right now. Jeff Shaw has never been hotter in his entire career. It's a little book from Image called Crossover. You guys might have heard about it. We haven't really been pumping it here at the store yet.
It's an awesome read, though.
We've all had a chance to read the advanced PDF. So the premise, real quick, of Crossover is that superheroes existed in real life. Like, they were real. Everybody was real, running around, flying and punching and super stuff. And then some major extinction-level event occurred that wiped all of the superheroes off of the planet.
Here's the best part.
Gone.
It happens here.
It happens in
Colorado.
Denver. In Denver, Colorado. It's the epicenter for this extinction-level event for all of the superheroes. So the story takes place in Utah, which is just a state away, which is kind of cool. And it's about the realization that something is happening. Something is crossing over from comic books back into reality. And we have a store exclusive cover that you guys are going to see for the very first time right now that is done jokingly by someone that I call my girlfriend. Tula Latte is doing a store exclusive cover for Hall of Justice that will be limited to 500 copies. You want to hit them with the image?
Yeah.
There it is. It, of course, will ship with full trade dress. You'll have the crossover title and all the credits up there at the top. But that's a little hint as to what's going on in the first issue. You've got a gal who's dressed like a superhero holding hands with a very young gal who looks like she just came out of the pages of a comic book. And a lot of the stuff that's going on in this book happens in a comic book store, which is really freaking cool. So we are pumped to show this to you today. It just got approved at Image yesterday. So this is the first time that anybody is seeing it besides everybody here at the store. Crossover number 1 is on FOC October 12th. So we got 11 days. In stores November 4th, written by Jeff Shaw with covers by written by Donnie Cates. The main cover, we'll make a post about this after the show just so that you guys can request stuff there.
Subscribe to it, everybody.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss out.
You don't want to pull this one.
And it's going to be one of those things where we're going to offer, it is a no-risk number 1 for you guys so that you can get a copy of the regular cover to take a chance on it. The main cover is done by Jeff Shaw. The variant cover is done by Ryan Stegman, our store exclusive by Tula Latte, who knocked it out of the park. The cover is going to be $14.99. We're going to do a package deal just like we did for Scumbag, where you can get our store exclusive plus the main cover and the variant cover all for $20. But stay tuned. We'll make a post about that. We'll blow that up on Facebook here very shortly. We just wanted to give you guys a glimpse at it firsthand here on the show today. So good morning, and bam! Mic drop. I'm going to drop the mic on the floor. I'm pumped. I can't wait. She was just an absolute treat to deal with, so it's cool. Yeah, shut up.
I bet.
All right, so let's get into it then.
Did you Zoom meeting her?
What's that?
Did you Zoom her or FaceTime her?
I met her last year at San Diego.
When you asked her.
No. I just sent her an email, man. I sent her a message on Instagram first, and she never responded
like
there.
2 o'clock in the morning in your basement.
It did, actually. Hey, psst, hey. My wife doesn't know, but you're my girlfriend. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's jump in. From Dark Horse this week, in stores October 21st, comes Colonel Weird Cosmagog, number 1 of 4. From the world of the Eisner Award-winning Black Hammer series comes a bizarre sci-fi adventure origin story. Wacky space adventurer Colonel Randall Weird leaves Black Hammer Farm and embarks on a strange journey through space and time for something that he's long forgotten, with his sanity and life at stake. The main cover on my side is by Tyler Crook. The variant cover on Dom's side is by Jeff Lemire. If you guys have been following along with Black Hammer, you're probably not going to want to miss out on this. It has been hailed as a modern-day Watchmen, for lack of a better word. We have all the trades in stock. They've done a bunch of little weird spin-offs just like this. So if you're into that sort of thing, come bone up on all the old stuff and then check out Colonel Weird Cosmagog number 1. From DC this week, in stores on October 27th, is Action Comics 1026. This issue, it's the Superman family versus everybody. In this blistering conclusion to the epic House of Kent saga, huge choices are made to defend the great city of Metropolis. Plus, amid all the chaos, the new owner of the Daily Planet is revealed, and it's Jimmy Olsen?
Wow.
Zoink, Scoob.
Big boy pants on there.
Yes. Is he still a photographer?
Yeah, I wonder if he gives other photographers a hard time.
Does he turn into Perry White, where he's
there
like,
we go.
damn it, Kent. Guest starring Jonathan Kent, Connor Kent, Supergirl, and the Legion of Superheroes. Main cover over here on my side, which is very, I don't know, say what you will about John Romita Jr. It's all right. But look at that variant on Dom's side.
There's just one thing I don't like about this.
What's that?
Superman's looking a little sassy. Right?
He is. He's got the Rock Shake It Off shoulders going on from Lip Sync Battle.
Overall, I think it's amazing.
Does Supergirl not look like Penny from Big Bang Theory, or is it just me? A little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Lucio Perillo on the variant cover over there on Dom's side.
Great job, nailed it.
Yes. Shake it off. Next from DC this week comes The Amazing World of Superman Tabloid Edition hardcover. For those of you that don't remember, the New Fun Comics number 1, big treasury-sized tabloid thing that they did that reprinted the very first DC comic ever produced, that's what this thing is going to be. The 1973 tabloid reprinting the origin of the Man of Steel is back in a new hardcover edition. This classic collection also includes the story of Lex Luthor's sinister visit to the theme park called Superman Land. Superboy stories, plus features like a map of Krypton, how to draw Superman, Superman family portrait, and more. It also includes a giant map of Krypton, I just said that, plus stories from Action Comics 210, Superman 170, Superman Annual number 2 and 6, and much, much more. $19.99, which is a killer price point for this massive. Don't disregard the $2 that's in the top right corner.
$2,
That was back in the 1970s. $19.99 hardcover, treasury-sized book, so it's going to be massive. The Amazing World of Superman. Next from DC, the series finale of Batgirl lands with issue number 50, which is also the conclusion of the Batgirl Joker War tie-ins. All good things must come to an end as we wrap up this run of Batgirl with one final oversized celebratory issue. In the aftermath of the Joker War, Gotham is left in pieces that need to be picked up by Barbara and Alejo's team. But is Gotham a city worth saving anymore, and how much longer does our girl have it in her to keep fighting for it as Batgirl? Then, if Barbara is to ever give her relationship with Jason a chance, she knows she has to face him and finally make amends with the act that crippled him. Main cover by Josh Middleton, which is fantastic. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Terry Dodson, also fantastic. $5.99 for the series finale of Batgirl. From the death metal world, we have another one-shot, The Rise of the New God, number 1. Batman always wins.
Yes.
This irrevocable truth resonates to the very heart of Perpetua's battle with the Batman who laughs, and when her ally reveals his absolute nature, she will upend this mantra and destroy the last planet, his planet. But that's not enough, and the mother of all creation must wonder, if power lies in destruction, why would she ever stop? But that's the thing about truth. When it turns to fact, there's no disputing its godlike reverence. And so enters the darkest night. Oh, the new god.
I dig that cover.
First appearance in that book right there. Featuring a backup story that also spins out of the cliffhanger from Dark Knight's death metal Multiverses In that just hit stores this week. $5.99 for that one shot. Here to speaking of one shots, we got this stuff was crazy popular. I think it was last year. We are returning to the Tales of the Dark Multiverse.
Oh yeah, those are all good.
The first one that's coming out is this one that's all about Hush. Following the smash success of last year's Tales from the Dark Multiverse series, DC returns with 5 new tales that explore dark, twisted timelines spinning out of some of DC's most iconic stories. It begins with the story that kicked off the modern era for Batman, Hush. The landmark story introduced Bruce Wayne's childhood friend Tommy Elliott as he tried to destroy the Dark Knight. But what if Tommy had ruined Bruce's life when they were children? Tommy Elliott grew up to be the Dark Prince of Gotham with the help of Talia al Ghul, Oswald Cobblepot, Harvey Dent, and Jason Todd. But vengeance is coming in the form of Batman the Silenced, who will tear Tommy's life apart.
Oh, I like
Sounds
that.
fantastic.
Dude, these are all good.
They
Every single one of these is like what Marvel's What If was.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
better.
Written by rising star Philip Kennedy Johnson from The Last God, with jaw-dropping artwork from Dexter Soy. $5.99 for the first of this series of one-shots. Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Hush. Speaking of Jason Todd, here we go. We got Red Hood Outlaw number 50. Jason Todd's downward spiral began when he was murdered by the Joker. I'd say that's the start of a downward spiral, getting murdered by a clown. But deep in his heart, he blamed himself for charging headfirst into deadly danger. His rage and self-loathing caused him to lash out at those around him, keeping friends and family alike at arm's length, until the Outlaws. First, Arsenal and Starfire, and later Artemis and Bizarro saw through his defenses. Now it's time to pay it forward to the one person who represents all the mistakes he's made in his own life, Duella Dent. But can he save the Joker's daughter when he couldn't save himself? Don't miss the end of the Outlaw era. Main cover by Dexter Soy, which is right there on your screen. There is also a variant cover by Philip Tan that we didn't have the artwork for last night when we typed this up. So it's a 50th issue. It's oversized. It's $5.99. Red Hood Outlaw number 50. It sounds like he's going to start being a good guy, maybe. I don't know.
Good.
Next from DC, we have Wonder Woman number 765. Yes, exactly. This guy.
That's got to be Middleton.
Exactly. He just keeps getting better and better and better, man. That's why I had to put this up here. I could care less about what the story is. Look at that variant cover. Holy smokes.
I love that font that he used down there.
I do too. It's so clean and simple and just
He knocked it out of the park.
amazing.
Every hair under her head.
Yeah. Amazing. The Invisible Jet is going down. Look out below. On a mission to the heart of supervillain-occupied Zandia, Wonder Woman is stopped dead in her tracks by a turf war that's turning deadlier by the minute. After a heated consult with the Justice League, Diana finds herself on her own with the supposedly reformed Max Lord to complete her mission. And to make matters worse, each side is using Lord Industries' stolen tech to turn their foes into mind-warping super armies. Who shot down Diana's stealthy ride? The answer will make you dizzy. Main cover right there is by David Marquez. I mean, no offense, David. You're fantastic, but you are not Josh Middleton. No, I know. It is
That is
it is
one of the best
spectacular.
covers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That is
Spectacular.
so clean.
Variant cover by Josh Middleton. Wonder Woman 765. Okay. Next from DC, we have two original graphic novels. The starter is this one called The House of L. It's the first of a trilogy of books coming out. This one is called The Shadow Threat, a brand new vision of one of comics' most famous tragedies, the first of a trilogy of young adult graphic novels by New York Times best-selling writer Claudia Gray and illustrator Eric Zawadzki. Explore Krypton like never before through the eyes of two teenagers on opposite sides of the same extinction-level event. Zahn is one of Krypton's elites, wealthy, privileged, and a future leader. Sarah is one of Krypton's soldiers, strong, dedicated, and fearless. Their rule-bound society has ordained that their paths should never cross. Romeo and Juliet. But ground quakes are shaking the planet's surface. Rebellious uprisings are shaking the populace. Krypton's top scientists, Jor-El and Lara, conduct a secret experiment that is meant to reform their planet from the cellular level up. Excuse me. Zahn and Sarah must join forces to investigate the hidden dangers truly threatening Krypton. In the process, they form a bond that will endure past the end of the world. $16.99 for this 208-page original graphic novel. In stores January 5th of 2021. Wow. So next year. A little ways away.
But it's on FOC.
But it's on FOC Sunday.
They want to get a print run.
Yes. Next, from the All Ages department, this one just looks like a bucket of fun. We Found a Monster. Kirk Scroggs, writer and artist of The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid, introduces a new type of best friend. Casey has always loved monster movies. In fact, he considers himself something of an expert on the subject. He spends his day doing normal kid things like attending school and riding his bike around his town of Serena Mar, and filling his journal with helpful ways to take care of the various monsters who all live around them, who no one else seems to know exist. But as Casey delves deeper into the history of his spooky friends, or are they friends, he uncovers more than just skeletons in the closet. Turns out there's a Frankenstein and maybe a werewolf tucked in there too, and he's just starting to wonder if that's possible that his new friend Xandra has a secret of her own as well. We Found a Monster is a fun, funny, and fast-paced tale about learning what true friendship is and respecting the secrets we all have inside. $9.99 for this 160-page original graphic novel, also in stores January 12th of 2021. Okay? All right, man, this next one,
Mess.
what a mess. So first of all, this is probably not going to be the final cover for TMNT Last Ronin. This should have been out the end of September. IDW decided that they are changing the creative team after it has been announced that it was going to be Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. Kevin Eastman was doing layouts. Andy Kuhn was supposed to be inking. There was another guy that was coloring. The current writer of TMNT, Tom Waltz, was adding stuff into the mix as well. So huge creative team. They decided I don't know what happened. Andy Kuhn is no longer on the book. Instead, they are bringing in the brothers Esau and Isaac Escorza, who are doing the interior art for the book and will do the cover. So this cover, as cool as it is, will never exist. So I'm sorry that I'm showing this to you right now, but I also don't have an updated cover from IDW when I typed this up last night. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll look it up today when we do our FOC thing to see if we can find if they've updated it. They didn't when I checked right before we went live. But there will be a new cover that's not this one, that's not by Andy Kuhn, that's by the brothers Escorza. So, in lieu of all of this drama, this is a 5-issue miniseries. Originally, it was going to be bigger than magazine size, so it wouldn't fit in a bag and board. IDW came to their senses, and they're publishing it as magazine size, so we'll have stuff to protect it. You don't have to worry. It is the TMNT event of 2020. Springing from the minds of co-creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird comes an epic like you've never seen before. In a future New York City far different than the one we know today, a lone surviving turtle goes on a seemingly hopeless mission to obtain justice for his fallen family and friends. Kinetic layouts from Eastman with art by Esau and Isaac Escorza, and a thrilling script full of surprises from longtime TMNT scribe Tom Waltz, all combined to make this one of the most memorable TMNT stories you will ever read if they can get it out on time. So again, main cover is going to be by the brothers Escorza, magazine-sized, 48 pages, $8.99 for cover price.
Is it a one-shot?
It's a 5-issue miniseries.
Okay, 5-issue.
However, first issue comes out October 20. Whoa, let me look it up. Hold on. I thought I had it in the introduction. Let me look and see. Last. This is basically supposed to do for the Ninja Turtles what Dark Knight did for Batman. What Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns did for Batman in the 80s. So Last Ronin, number 1. Where did you go? Number 1. It is in stores October 28th. Number 2 doesn't come out until the end of December, so they're going to publish every other month for pretty much a year. So I just want to let you know that's what's going on. Last Ronin, number 1, October 28th. Number 2, December 16th. But totally new creative team, so we'll look for a new cover hopefully at the end of this show. And regardless, when we get the new cover, hopefully before Monday's FOC, we'll make sure that we post that up on our Facebook page. But you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. Okay, you guys hopefully you saw my post last night about this. From Image this week comes Spawn number 311. It is the start of a brand new story arc called Cult of Omega, which is a 3-issue story arc. I can't remember if I just said that right now. Spawn raises some of the dead as he storms a palace that has been hiding the secrets of a hidden society whose members can combine to become more powerful than any Spawn throughout time, like Zan and Jane of the Wonder Twins, man. Led by their new king, the Omega Spawn. So it's going to have a first appearance in this issue. First appearance of Omega Spawn. The main cover right here on my side is by Francesco Mattina. Todd McFarlane released this image yesterday. That he is doing a tribute cover to the passing of Chadwick Boseman, who was, of course, the Black Panther. The B cover on Dom's side is that Todd McFarlane tribute cover. It is open to order, so let me know if you would like to order a copy. You guys have already went absolutely ballistic on the post that we did last night. Thank you. I'll get all those requests entered into the system. But if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, that's what the B cover is. There's also a C cover by interior artist Carlo Barberi, but we didn't have the image for that when I typed this up last night. So A cover, B cover on Dom's side, and there's also a C cover, but that B cover is going to be hot. Okay? From Marvel this week comes Black Widow, Widow's Sting number 1. This is just a one-shot. There's a regular Black Widow series that's coming out, that's ongoing, written by Kelly Thompson. This is just a one-shot, again, to try to grab more money out of your pocket, even though the movie has now been postponed till next year. So who knows if this is even going to be on FOC on Monday. But something is stirring in the criminal underworld. Magia boss Silvermane is making his move. S.H.I.E.L.D. has sent an agent in to investigate, but they've disappeared. It's time to call in the heavy hitters. It's time to call in the Black Widow. And the plan Natasha Romanoff will uncover is far deadlier than any of them realized. Don't miss this all-new tale from the dangerous deep cover days of the Black Widow. Main cover on my side is by Emanuela Lupacchino. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Tony Infante, who is the interior artist on, I think, 7 Secrets from Boom right now. I think. Maybe. Yes, I think so. Okay, so from Marvel this week, we have X of Swords Stasis #1. Just a one-shot, just like the... crap, I forgot the name of the first one-shot, Dom. That came out last week.
What was it called?
I don't know. Anyhow, this is technically part 11 of the X of Swords 22-issue crossover. And again, Hickman gives us virtually nothing to work off of. A ritual, a parliament, a game begins. That's it. We have 3 sentence fragments to go off of ordering this. But it's X-Men, it's Hickman. If you don't know what the premise is, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you need to read the first one. It's all about Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which you can see on the main cover. There's more than 4 of them, but they're fighting against the X-Men. So, X of Swords Stasis #1, just a one-shot.
That main cover's killer.
Main cover is by Pepe Larraz, which is fantastic. The variant cover on Dom's side is by Coax. I guess the cable company is making covers now. Yeah. And then the variant right down here on the bottom is by Mike Del Mundo with a very thick-thighed Psylocke. I like that. It's good. It's a good cover. Just a one-shot, but again, it's part 11 of 22. So if you're on all things X of Swords, don't worry about it. We got you covered. Okay? From AWA this week comes Year Zero Volume 2, #1. Isn't that a cool cover?
It reminds me of World War Z.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so creepy.
It is. Just a human chain of, or dead human chain of bodies. Upshot's hit series Year Zero returns with 4 new harrowing tales of survival from around a post-apocalyptic world. A grizzled Norwegian sea captain and her 2 young grandchildren navigate an ocean teeming with undead while eluding the relentless pirates on their trail. That sucks. I wouldn't want to be in that boat.
Nope.
But A Colombian cartel boss indulges all of his most sadistic whims, unaware that a threat far greater than zombies is headed towards his jungle fortress. Doesn't sound like fun. A Rwandan doctor must overcome the crippling fear that has plagued him all his life as he stumbles through the African bush. And a pregnant woman, barricaded in an American big box store, discovers that the greatest threat to her life and her unborn child's might not be undead, because people suck. Main cover by Carrie Andrews, variant cover on Dom's side by Mike Diodato. If you were on the last Year Zero series, we will auto-sub you to this new one. But if you want to check it out, we've got trades of the first one that will be in the stores, I think, next week. And you can jump in on this brand new Volume 2 series, Year Zero, #1. I'm not going over this next one. We talked about this last week. I guess it's on FOC again. From Vault, we have Giga #1, all about giant skyscraper-sized mechs who just stop fighting at some point, and humanity decides to live inside of them until, obviously, the crap hits the fan. So,
start back up again.
Yeah, exactly. That would suck. It's really cool. I had a chance to read it. It's a great story. It's about like religion blending in with technology and like cult followings and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a great read. Don't miss it. It's written by Alex Packnadell with art by John Lee. A cover right there, B cover by Tim Daniel, and C cover by Adam Gorham. So
Warrior one.
Yes, very cool. #1 from Vault. From Aftershock this week comes Sympathy for No Devils #1. Winston Wallace has a secret. He is all that remains of mankind and is surrounded on all sides by demons, monsters, and ghouls that picked up where humankind left off. Lying, stealing, cheating, and killing. Years ago, it was Winston's job to investigate such things. Now, his ex-partner needs help solving the brutal murder of one of the world's largest colossal. guess that's a massive, creepy thing. Because he knows the secret, he knows about the magical curse that gives Winston the ability to survive a world where everything is bigger, stronger, and angrier than he is. But how long can Wynn's impossible luck last, and will this new case finally be the death of him? He certainly hopes so. From Brandon Thomas, the writer of Excellence, and Lee Ferguson from Sam and His Talking Gun, the critically acclaimed creators of the mini adventures of Miranda Mercury, comes a bold new series filled with murder, mystery, monsters, and magic. If you like Hellboy, if you like Cal McDonald, if you like any of those, if you like Supernatural, Sympathy for No Devils may be right up your alley. So give an Aftershock book a shot. They are also very, very friendly to comic book stores. Next, from Oni, we have a new Rick and Morty series in Rick and Morty Ever After, #1. When one of Rick's experiments on knowledge absorption via osmosis goes horribly awry, and when don't they, Rick and Morty find themselves sucked into Avalonia, Sad Stories for Bad Children, an ancient, dusty tome full of fairy tales. And not the sanitized Disney version, we're talking old school, grim, dark fairy tales. On their arrival in this strange new universe, the two are separated. Morty trapped in an old tower, the princess in need of saving, Rick, the scholarly old wizard in the castle's basement. With the help of Silk, the cunning sorceress holding Morty prisoner, and Marius, the himbo knight tasked with his rescue, Rick and Morty must find their way back to each other and to their own reality. But what they don't know is that their arrival in Avalonia releases the evil Step Witch, setting off a chain of events that will destroy the world and the tome itself. While Rick and Morty are still in it, if they don't take everything they know about fairy tales and subvert those very same expectations, they're going to breathe their very last weird breaths. This is pretty cool, though, because this book is illustrated by a local. Both covers and the interiors are done by Sarah Stern, who is friends with Jorge Corona, who colored our Undiscovered Country cover, who colored our Scumbag cover, and lives here in Denver and works with Jorge in his local...
Sarah came here, didn't she?
She was going to come here when we had the Undiscovered Country release,
That's right.
but she canceled.
That's right.
So there you go. Rick and Morty Ever After, drawn by a local. That's always cool. Don't miss this brand new series that sounds totally ridiculous, but an absolute blast.
Rick and Morty story.
That's right. Whew, that was a lot. All right, that brings us to our subsequent print speculation section, brought to you by Oscar Cassis. There goes the green screen.
Hey, bro. Are you the second prince?
Awesome. So this little section that we throw in for the show is where we highlight some of the books that have subsequent printings available at FOC. In general, subsequent printings are ordered, maybe not at all, by stores, or maybe in very small quantities. So they generally have smaller print runs than the first prints, and lately they've been blowing up on the secondary market. So here is your chance to make sure that you get them for cover price plus a discount if you got a hold slot. There are two that do not have images. So first, if you want to scroll up for a second, from Boom, up there at the top, there is a Once in Future #9 second print. From Marvel, we have a Fantastic Four Antithesis #2 second print. No image for that either. That's the first appearance of Antithesis, though, so that's kind of a big deal. From Vault, how about this one? You know about Autumnal. We talked about it on the stream sale last Thursday. It is getting a very rare second print variant because that is the second print, which is done by Martin Simmons. Cover price $3.99. There is also going to be a foil version of this exact cover, so we have a second print variant that's $9.99. Same exact cover. All of the leaves are going to be orange foil, so it should look really freaking cool. So regular version $3.99, foil version $9.99. Autumnal #1 second print by Martin Simmons, who's the interior artist on Department of Truth that also just came out this week. Also from Vault, Heavy #1 is getting a second print, which is a Tim Daniel cover right there. If you haven't read Heavy, it is a blast. It's like a buddy cop movie that is set in the afterlife, so it's like R.I.P.D. meets Rush Hour, for lack of a better word, because you have two completely polar opposites.
You hear the words coming coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's way worse. So if you haven't checked that out, it is a blast. Check out Heavy as well. Okay? That's it for subsequent prints. Not a lot this week, which is nice. Now we have our other segment called Who Does Number 2 Work For?
Who does number 2 work for? Who does number 2
That's weird.
work for?
That's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
I had Austin
I like
Powers
how
on my
You'll
water
go,
bottle.
should it fade into that too, I believe.
Well, I think we're just past the cutoff for the, yeah. My bottle's green. That's why we're playing tricks
White.
on you.
The shirt is green.
Yeah.
That's why it looks white.
So the Who Does Number 2 Work For segment spotlights, highlights number 2 issues that are on FOC. You might have picked up number 1 off the rack. If you read it and you enjoyed it, let us know so that we can either subscribe you to the series, that way you don't miss out, or at least pull a copy of number 2 so that you don't miss out, because we always order less of number 2s. That's how it works. Nobody orders more number 2s than they do number 1s. That's silly. From AWA this week, which kind of is a bummer because this book doesn't come out till next week, so I have no sales data for it. We have American Ronin number 2. War is over. Democracy is an illusion. Real power now lies not with nation states, but huge corporations engaged in a silent war for global domination. That's pretty much real life, right? I mean, that's not fiction at all. Their number 1 weapon, highly skilled, technologically enhanced operatives, trained since childhood to pledge their allegiance to the corporate flag. But what happens when one such operative breaks free of his mental chains and decides to bring the whole system down?
Good for him.
Can one Ronin make a difference?
Fight the power.
It's like the Matrix, it's like Lazarus, it's a lot of things, but it sounds cool. I have no idea what it looks like because it hasn't come out yet. Number 1 comes out next week.
It's an AWA book.
It's an AWA book. It's a mini-series. They've been on fire lately, so check it out. Main cover on my side is by ACO. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Raza. That's a different cover for Raza.
Yes,
Normally
it is.
he's very, I don't know, almost 3D-ish.
It's
And
more
this,
back.
I like it though. It's good. So number 2, American Ronin, cover A, cover B. Okay, from Boom this week, Unkindness of Ravens number 2. This one came out last week, so thank you, Boom, for giving at least a week of sales data before we have to FOC number 2. Wilma is being courted by the Ravens, a group of witches who want her to join their coven. But Scarlet, the most popular girl in school, wants Wilma for herself. The Ravens say that Scarlet is dangerous, but everything will be fine, won't it? Main cover on my side is by Dan Panosian. Dom's shaking his head because we all know that's not going to happen.
We wouldn't have a series if it was okay.
Exactly. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Quistina Kalita.
Christina.
Q with a Q.
Mike Tyson.
I don't. Quistina Kalita. I'm gonna bite your ear off.
Tyson's gonna show me.
Oh, just punch me right in the face. Punch my eyes out the back of my head. I don't think that's possible, but he could
seen
do
him
it.
working out?
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's fast for an old guy. Holy crap. So if you didn't pay attention to Unkindness of Ravens, it's like Mean Girls and Archie and Sabrina and The Craft. It's like all of those things mixed
way to
together.
put it.
So if you like high school drama in the vein of Archie and Sabrina, and you also like a little bit of witchcraft thrown in the mix, check this book out. It's a fun read. Okay, from Dark Horse, here we go. This book, number 1, we still have copies on the rack. It came out way in the long ago. It's only a 2-issue miniseries, for the love of God. Here is number 2, Hellboy and the BPRD, The Return of Effie Kolb, number 2 of 2. Following Hellboy's strange encounter with the new residents of the Crooked Man's home, a young spiritual sensitive still feels that something bad is going on in the old Virginia mansion. And she's right. Prepare for monsters and mayhem in the second half of Mike Mignola's return to the story of The Crooked Man, which was originally illustrated by Richard Corbin and is fantastic. This is illustrated by another local, Zach Howard. Congratulations, Zach, with colorist Dave Stewart. And the main cover right there is by Mr. Zach Howard. So if that piques your interest and you want to check it out, we still have copies of number 1 on the rack. Pick it up and then grab a number 2. Don't take a number 2, grab a number 2. Also from Dark Horse this week, this one just came out on Wednesday. We've got Stranger Things Science Camp number 2 of 4. Terror has struck Camp Nowhere. A camp counselor has disappeared in the night with no clue but a distant scream. Suspicions arise, and as Dustin inadvertently passes the acid test to become the cool kid at camp, he must balance his newfound popularity with the rising tensions and try not to get his wires crossed with other campers. Main cover on my side is by Viktor Kalavichev. Cover B on Dom's side is by Raoul Allen. And cover C down here at the bottom is by Eric Wynn. So Stranger Things Science Camp number 2 of 4. From DC this week, we've got Hellblazer Rise and Fall number 2 of 3. If you don't remember, this was a new Black Label book written by Tom Taylor, illustrated by Derek Robertson, magazine-sized 3-issue miniseries. Number 1 came out a few weeks ago. Here is number 2. John Constantine has been in trouble before, but running afoul of the devil himself is crossing a line even for the self-styled Hellblazer. But that's exactly who darkens Constantine doors with news that John's investigation into the gruesome angel murders of London's billionaire class and Satan's own vendetta against a treacherous demon are actually the same mission. That sounds like trouble. What's that mean? You guessed it. It's time for a team up with Satan and Hellblazer.
Oh my god.
Main cover: Satan and Hellblazer having a drink,
Having a brew,
sharing stories. By Derek Robertson. The variant cover on Dom's side is by J.H. Williams III. $6.99, magazine-sized Hellblazer Rise and Fall number 2. We still have copies of number 1, so if that sounds fun to you, come pick it up. Okay, I read this digitally. I loved it. It just came out this week. It's my pick of the week. Randy was talking about it all day yesterday. Department of Truth number 2 is on FOC on Monday. Written by James Tynion, Batman, Something is Killing the Children. What can't this guy do? With art by Martin Simmons, who did Dying is Easy for IDW. Cole Turner has spent most of his life suppressing false memories of satanic ritual abuse at his preschool. That sucks. Like, get your kid out of that school, man.
That's not right.
Now he's the newest recruit of the Department of Truth, and he's just found out those false memories might be truer than he thinks. Tynion and Simmons continue their breakout conspiracy thriller, the main cover with Satan Ronald Reagan, which is by Martin Simmons. A variant cover over there on Dom's side, the lady with the X eyes, is by Christian Ward. Elevator pitch for Department of Truth. It's like National Treasure meets Men in Black, but instead of protecting aliens, this new department of the government is protecting you from false ideas. The premise is that the more people that start to believe in the flat earth theory, reality starts to shift and become flat earth. And so the Department of Truth is there to correct those people. So it's pretty cool. It's a killer read. If you want, we have copies of number 1. Pick up a copy number 2 when it's on FOC this Monday. Here's another one from Marvel. Shang-Chi, number 2 of 5. Number 1 just came out on Wednesday. The hits keep on coming. Shang-Chi may have finally met his match in the form of this strange new assailant, Sister Hammer. What a good name. It's like it sounds like an 80s rock band name, Sister Hammer. But who is she really? Find out in this shocking reunion. Main cover right there is by Philip Tan. Alex Ross, timeless variant over there on Dom's side. Shang-Chi, number 2 of 5. We got plenty of copies of number 1. So again, if you dig martial arts comics, that's a niche market. There's not a lot of that stuff that still comes out.
Bring it back because they're going to put that on Disney Plus.
That's exactly right. So there you go. Shang-Chi, number 2 of 5. And here we go. We just talked about the second print of number 1. You guys, hopefully you know the spiel about what happened with number 1. It was a super sleeper hit last week. Copies of number 1 were selling for $20 a piece on eBay. Here is autumnal number 2. After missing the funeral of her estranged mother, Kat and her daughter Sybil hoped to fit into the quaint town of Comfort Notch. But the town's obscure history and strange customs make it a struggle, leading to a shocking confrontation. Main cover right here is by Martin Sheehan, who is the interior artist on the series. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Nathan Gooden. It's written by the guy who wrote The Shape of Water, the crazy... I think it was.
Haven't watched
I haven't either. I have it at home. Haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
But if you dig seasonal horror stories, that is what this book is about. So check it out. Get a second print of number 1. Get a copy of number 2. It's from Vault. They're doing great stuff right now. Check it out. Speaking of Vault, here we go. We already talked about this. Number 2 for Heavy was on FOC, I think, a couple weeks ago, but it's on FOC again. Remember, what did we say? We said it was Rush Hour meets RIPD. You got it's a buddy cop story set in purgatory, where 2 guys have to work off their debt so they can go up to heaven or to hell, whichever way they're headed. Saddled with the worst possible partner for potentially all of eternity, Bill must decide whether he can give his greatest enemy a clean slate and earn his own fresh start beyond the big weight. A hard decision to make while you're jumping through time and space, knocking out teeth. Main cover on my side is by Eric Donovan. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Tim Daniel. It's a weird alternate reality, time jump, time travel. Like, there's a whole scene where Leonardo da Vinci has got his junk out in the first issue, and there's a harem of ladies, and he kind of turns into almost Hitler. It's weird, but it's fun. The dialogue is witty. It's just a fun read. I enjoyed it. So that's Heavy number 2. And that's it, kids. That was a long FOC show. You okay, Randy? Randy looks exhausted already. It's only
I can't watch him. Just overload.
It's only been an hour. Okay, so this last little bit is the entire list of stuff pending any changes that they make to it tomorrow.
Still scrolling through
Yeah,
DC.
DC's actually not as much, but there were some awesome covers. Like, I didn't even get to point out. Check out the Detective Comics variant by Lee Bermejo. It's totally a throwback to 1966 Batman, where Adam West and Burt Ward are climbing up the side of a building on the bat rope. It's fantastic, but I didn't have time and it couldn't fit it in the show. So you got all the DC stuff. There's no item codes. Then you get down to everybody else. You've got Boom. You've got Dark Horse. Which one were we talking about? Last Ronin. We want to look at Last Ronin number 1 to see if that's been updated. Because the creative team changed. It's been a struggle, man. 3 of IDW's salespeople left. One of them is with Image. One of them is with somebody else now. Let's see. Nope, still the same old cover. So did they update the?
Did you see the?
That's for number 2. That's the cover number 2. And then those are there's a mess of store exclusives out there for Last Ronin. We only have access to the A cover. There's some incentive covers. We don't show them off, but that's what's available right now. But like I said, that's going to change because Andy Kuhn is no longer on the book. I don't know why. We'll have a new cover by the 2 brothers Escorza. Hopefully we'll have an image for that before FOC on Monday. So we hit him with the crossover cover one more time, just for shits and giggles.
There you go.
There you go. Tula Latte crossover number 1. That's on FOC in 2 weeks, 11 days. In stores November 4th. $15 for that guy. And then if you want to do a package deal, we're doing A, B, and the store exclusive for $20. Okay? We'll make a post about that too here in a little bit. That's it. I'm out. Make sure you check us out tonight. We'll be on stream sailing tonight from 5 to 7. Have a great week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Pick up some comic books. I'm John.
I'm Dom.
We'll talk to you later.
See you tonight.